Now, I always start a new drawing intending to do something amazing, but the truth is sometimes it just doesn't work out. Hey everyone, Brian Florica here, and welcome back to Sketchbook B. This is going to be a little bit different of an episode this time around. I took on a commission project several years ago now for my employer, and at the time this was going to be this big project that was going to be blown up to like 6 feet wide by 2 feet high, and it was going to go in our office boardroom as like a centerpiece of the entire room, this big streetscape scene of some of the kind of best houses that we designed and built over the years. And at the time, this was like my first big commission piece that anyone had ever come to me to ask me to do. So my initial response was kind of just a yes. But I was so excited about it that I didn't even really think through whether or not I was even up to the task of doing this project. And because of that, it became this sort of unfinished thing ultimately that has been sitting for the past couple years, and I never did get it done, and I learned a lot of hard lessons about my own capabilities and how much I should take on and stuff like that. So I thought I would do a little exploration of this project and kind of extrapolate from it some lessons about failure and what I could pull from it in this case, and share it with you in the hopes that you won't make the same mistakes that I did. So enjoy. Hopefully you get something out of this. These were very valuable lessons for me in terms of my journey and also where I am now with my commission work and stuff. So it was very valuable for me personally, and I hope that you can find some value in it as well. With that, let's get into the design process and lesson number 1. So as I mentioned before, I was so excited to get into this piece that I just blew past every warning sign and every red flag. I had some really specific design requirements as far as the style and the general layout and some design elements. And if I would have sat down at that point and been real honest with myself, I would have come to the conclusion that this was well beyond my capabilities at the time, and I would have just shelved it right then. Of course, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now if I would have done that. So instead, I just grabbed my sketchbook and began work on the design process. Now, I put a ton of time into the design phase of this piece, scribbling away furiously in my sketchbook, taking these to my employer, coming back with writing some more ideas down, scribbling some more stuff in my book, going back again, back and forth, and about 45 concepts later, we were ready to proceed. And this should have been an indicator for me that I wasn't quite grasping the concept in my client's head about how this was supposed to look. But even though I was getting frustrated that I couldn't hit the mark, I kept pressing on in the hopes that I would just eventually figure it out. And this ultimately meant that I dumped way too much time in on the design phase without realizing that the eventual output was not going to balance out the input time and the input effort up front. So this leads me to the next phase of this project and the next lesson. Now this point is kind of a critical point where things went off the rails on this project. I'd done so much concept work and even used like SketchUp modeling software to lay out the exact houses that were going to be there. I 3D modeled most of them myself as just part of my job. So I laid it out exactly how it was going to look so that I could hopefully take all of the guesswork out of it, sent it off to my client to confirm, and got the go-ahead. So I just dove right into my regular drawing process of penciling, inking, coloring. What I didn't realize was that my client had misinterpreted my message and wasn't ready to proceed yet. This is an issue that I would have been able to catch and deal with much quicker if I would have realized the importance of lesson 3. Now these items are just kind of the main mistakes of many that I made over the course of this project, and ultimately when I showed my boss the nearly finished piece, which was the first time he'd kind of seen it, I was devastated to discover that I didn't even have the right houses in there. He wanted to see some changes still, and I'd just done all of this work that was going to be a pain to go back and try and fix. And as a result, like this project kind of got shelved for a while. I haven't touched it since, to this day, and it was, you know, almost 3 years ago now, I think. And that does bother me, I'll admit. I don't like leaving things unfinished, and so having this piece like so close to the end but not done does kind of bother me, but it is what it is. However, you learn a lot more from failure than you do from success, which leads me to lesson 4 and my new approach to commission work. So I decided to regroup and take a much simpler approach the next time I considered commission work. I set up a gig on Fiverr, which is basically an online platform where creatives like myself can sell their services. My gig is set up very simply. It's just architectural art specific, so nothing else besides architectural art. And it's based on stuff that I've done many times before, little projects, even some of the stuff I've done on this channel as far as architectural art. See the architectural art playlist. And yeah, this allows me to eliminate a lot of the unknowns from doing a project that's just massive in scope, and they could be asking me to do something digital that I'm not super familiar with. This way, they know what they're getting up front. It's traditional art. It's my classic pencil, ink, marker method, and something I'm very comfortable with. So it eliminates a lot of the unknowns because I already know the paper, I already know the medium, the time it will take, all of that stuff. So it allows me to take on the odd bit of commission work without overextending myself and getting overwhelmed. And so far, this has been working really great. And yeah, just check out some of the stuff that I've done so far on the screen now. All in all, this streetscape scene was a really good reality check and gave me a lot of good lessons. So let's just review what we've talked about in this video. Lesson 1, think it through. Consider the output versus the input ratio and make sure that it's balanced. Lesson number 2, communication. Before you go ahead with the next phase of your project, make sure that you have confirmation to do so. Lesson number 3, check in regularly. Regular updates keep the project on track and prevent you from doing what I did and finishing a ton of stuff before finding out that you screwed up, and now it's a super big pain to go back and fix it. And then of course, lesson 4, small bites. Just bite off what you can chew and don't overextend yourself. Now, despite the fact that I didn't actually finish this piece, I still really like it, and I do enjoy going back and looking at it. It's sitting at about 95% completion. So I don't know, is this a one that you'd like to see me finish up on the channel? Let me know in the comments below, because it's one that I've felt for a long time. I kind of wanted to finish it off. I don't like leaving things hanging, but I also have lots of other things that I could be putting the time towards, so I don't want to do it unless there's some interest. So let me know below in the comments section, and we'll see where we go from here. Thank you so much for taking the time to go on this journey with me, looking at my examples of past failures in the hopes that you won't have to make those same mistakes yourself. I hope there was some value in it for you. If there was, feel free to let me know. I'd really love to hear if it helped you out in any way. And that's really what this channel has been about from the beginning, is just giving you a glimpse at my artistic journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and giving you a chance to learn from my successes and from my failures along the way. So hopefully this could be a small part of that journey for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll just leave you with the image of this piece as it stands right now at about 95% completion. Don't forget to let me know if you want to see me finish it on the channel. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining me at Sketchbook B. Please like, subscribe, comment, share if you feel so inclined. No pressure. I appreciate you spending some time with me here today. You can check out the links to the side here for some other playlists of my content on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Take care.